Imagine you want to build a skyscraper. You start with the foundation, then you build the first floor, then the second, then the roof. That is how humans have built everything since the beginning of time. But deep in the Maharashtra region of India, there is a structure that breaks every single rule of engineering. It's called the Kailasa Temple. At first glance, it looks like a massive palace built from stone blocks. But look closer. There are no blocks. There are no joints. There is no mortar holding it together. That's because this entire temple, which is twice the size of the Parthenon in Greece, wasn't built. It was carved. Someone found a single mountain and started digging from the top down. They removed over 200,000 tons of heavy volcanic rock, and they did it without modern cranes, without dynamite, and without laser scanners. If you made one mistake, just one chisel strike in the wrong place, the entire project would be ruined. There was no Control-Z. There was no undo button. So how did a civilization over 1,000 years ago pull off the greatest engineering heist in history? And where did those 200,000 tons of rock go? Welcome to Era by Era. Today, we are digging into the impossible. Let's wrap our heads around the scale of this thing. The Kailasa Temple is part of the Ellora Caves. It is 300 feet long and 100 feet high. To give you a modern comparison, imagine taking a massive solid rock the size of a 10-story building and carving the Taj Mahal out of it using nothing but a hammer and a chisel. Most ancient megastructures, like the Great Pyramid of Giza, face a huge problem, lifting heavy stones up. But the Kailasa engineers face the opposite problem, taking heavy stones out. This is called subtractive architecture, and it is a logistical nightmare. When you build the pyramids, if you make a block too small, you just grab another block. But here, the mountain is the material. You are carving the roof first, then the pillars, then the elephants, then the floor. You have to visualize the entire finished 3D model inside the rock before you even touch it. And remember, they didn't have blueprints on iPads. To carve the intricate galleries, bridges, and statues, they likely had to use a system of mirrors to reflect sunlight into the deep pits because fire torches would have made the air too smoky to breathe. But the how is only half the mystery. The real question is the when. This is where the history books start to sweat. According to mainstream archaeology, this temple was commissioned by King Krishna I of the Rashtrakuta dynasty somewhere around the year 756 AD. Historians tell us the entire complex was finished in roughly 18 years. 18 years! Let's do the math on that. If they worked 12 hours a day, every single day for 18 years, that means they had to remove roughly 30 tons of rock every single day. That is 3 modern dump trucks of rock, excavated, broken down, lifted out of a pit, and carried away every hour, by hand. And that doesn't even account for the detailed carving. We aren't just talking about blasting rock. We are talking about intricate statues of elephants, lions, and gods carved with millimeter precision. Even with a workforce of 7,000 people, achieving this in 18 years seems incalculable. Some modern engineers argue that just managing the debris would have taken decades. Where is the piles of rock? 200,000 tons of basalt doesn't just disappear. Yet strangely, there are no massive dumping grounds found nearby. It's almost as if the rock just vanished. So, why the rush? Why build it top down? There's a local legend that might explain it. The story goes that the king was deathly ill. His queen prayed to the god Shiva, vowing that if her husband survived, she would build a magnificent temple. But there was a catch. She vowed she would not eat until she saw the Shikara, the peak of the temple. The king recovered, but the architects gave the queen bad news. They said, "My queen, it will take months, maybe years to build the foundation and reach the top. You will starve before we finish." except for one architect, a man named Kokasa. He stepped forward and said, "I can show you the peak of the temple in 1 week." How? By starting at the top. He carved the very peak of the mountain first, fulfilling the queen's vow immediately so she could eat. Then he kept digging down to reveal the rest. It's a great story, but does it explain the technology? Look at these drill marks. Look at the polish on the pillars. Basalt is hard. It sits between 6 and 7 on the Mohs hardness scale. It's harder than iron. If you hit basalt with a simple iron chisel, the chisel gets dull very fast. You would need thousands of smiths just constantly sharpening tools. This has led some researchers to ask a controversial question. Did they have a technology we lost? We know about the Vedic machines mentioned in ancient texts. We know ancient India had advanced metallurgy, like the iron pillar of Delhi that doesn't rust. Is it possible they had a way to soften the stone, or a mechanical device that amplified their chiseling power? Or is the timeline wrong? Some geologists suggest the weathering on the temple walls looks much older than the 8th century. Could this temple be thousands of years older, merely repaired or claimed by King Krishna I? We see this in Egypt with the Sphinx. Kings love to put their name on things they didn't build. But the most shocking proof of this temple's engineering isn't its creation, its survival. Fast forward to the year 1682. The Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, a man known for destroying temples, set his sights on Kailasa. He sent 1,000 of his best soldiers with heavy crowbars and orders to level the temple to the ground. They wanted to erase it from history. For 3 years, 1,000 men attacked this rock. They hammered, they pried, they burned, and after 3 years, they gave up. The only damage they could do was break a few statues and scar the walls. The monolithic rock was so strong, so perfectly integrated into the earth, that it broke the spirit of the army trying to destroy it. Think about that. An army with gunpowder and iron could not destroy what ancient sculptors created with hand tools. Today, the Kailasa Temple stands as the largest monolithic structure in the world. When you walk through it, you aren't walking on the earth, you are walking inside the earth. We still haven't found the tools they used, we still haven't found the debris they removed, and we still can't fully explain how they did it so fast. Maybe the ancients weren't just primitive people banging rocks together. Maybe they understood something about geology, physics, and engineering that we have forgotten. What do you think? Was it thousands of workers or lost technology? If you enjoyed digging into this mystery, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And subscribe to Era by Era for more lost history that shouldn't exist. I'll see you in the next era.